comprehensive programs or?
Yeah.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order. First thing, minute 2, review and approve January 23rd, 2024 minutes.
I move that they be accepted as written.
Second.
All in favor? Yeah, I see that.
30 document needs to be signed twice.
Yeah.
I move that the warrants be accepted as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Next thing is Elizabeth. Oh, oh yeah. Elizabeth Staton, Southie Valley Student Presentation.
Number 2.
Not yet. Okay, this one back. And we got Cumberland County Regional Assessment Abatement Supplements.
Stapled them together so they wouldn't get separated when there was so many of them.
Oh, I see. Oh, really? That's cool. That was a good idea, Robin, about sending these on to us prior to the week.
You want to figure out what was going on.
double check for all the signatures while you go up.
I'm just checking on my, make sure the other guy.
Well, once you're gone, you're hard to get back.
Somebody who got the wrong tax bill.
Oh.
Huh?
That's why it was so high. All right. Must be Elizabeth.
I
I think you're up.
am. Perfect, all right. So I'm Elizabeth Sanborn. I am the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator at Soxby Valley High School. I dragged along one of my students, this is Belle McCarther. She lives here in Baldwin. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the program for you guys, and then Belle's going to talk about her experience. So I'm going to say, oh, I didn't even bring mine up, so I guess I'm doing this from my memory. Oh, no, I do have it. If I'm a teacher, I can definitely pivot. So extended learning opportunities, it's nothing new to Maine. We've had around 20 programs before the one at Soxby Valley started. They've been in mostly coastal towns, say Scarborough and Falmouth and things like, you know, more inland, a little bit south, more to the, toward the ocean and south. And then 2 years ago, there was some grant money through the Maine DOE awarded grants to 26 of our high schools, and that came from the ARP money, the COVID money, that came into our state from the federal government. So a lot of what came in, our governor put towards workforce development, and one of those is the ELO programs. So we're one of 26 schools that got this grant, and so now we've more than doubled here in Maine our opportunities for students. ELOs are hands-on, credit-bearing experiences that are outside of the traditional classroom. So things like internships and job shadows, career exploration, and there's a real emphasis on community-based. Of course, in our community, as you know, we don't have a ton of, you know, things going on, but we do have a lot. And so I've also sent students out in a 30-ish mile radius around here. ELOs are highly personalized for each student. So, you know, what one student is doing in the class isn't necessarily what someone else is doing. They all sort of have their own pathway. And I have 9th graders through 12th graders, so of course, they're all at different points in their life to decide what their career is. Some of them are ready to go off and either go into college or go into a career because they're seniors, or some are, like Bella happens to be a 10th grader, so her experience right now is a little bit different. It's kind of a unique mix of some academic instruction. I do provide instruction. We've done resumes together, soft skill building, things like that, but then also students are able to do, like I said, job shadows. I've had students, right now I've got a student that goes once a week up to Wild One Motorsports in Limerick. I've got a couple kids that go to Oskey River Dental regularly. I have a student down to pre-K at the elementary school because she wants to be a preschool teacher. I have a student that goes to the local Veer, which is the bike shop in Cornish. Gorham House, I have a couple students in there, one who's got her CNA and one who's going to work on it. Gorham House is going to pay for it. Cornish Hair Studio, Soxby Vet Clinic. I have a student driving into Portland Gastroenterology right now. Hearts and Horses Therapeutic Riding down in Buxton, or I think it's Buxton. So lots of different things. I have a student doing a registered man apprenticeship through Grondin. So he, every other day, is spending time on the job site and earning his registered apprenticeship hours. I currently have, actually, I gained a lot of students this semester. I have 36 students in our program. We started with 15 last year, so it's really grown, and it's really exciting. I said the one internship at Grondin, I have actually 15 in weekly internships, and then the other students have done either one-time job shadows, you know, for example, not to pick on you, Bella, but you're not quite old enough yet to have a license. So, you know, we might have an opportunity for her to say, go on a one-day job shadow, which she can tell you when she's done that. Also, like some virtual interviews. I'll set up things where students can interview people people. As far away, we've had students interview people all over the country, and I also, it was kind of neat, back in December, I had a student interview a person at Porsche out in Germany. So like, pretty cool stuff. And like, the person actually took his laptop and like held it up so he could see like all of their, I don't know, what do you call it, work area? I don't know, their garage, and he was like, it was the cleanest garage I've ever seen. I'm like, I bet. So just really neat opportunities. As you guys know, I mean, I love the area. I live in Hiram. I don't live in Baldwin, but as much as I love our community, you know, we have a lot of kids that if they don't know what they don't see. So if they don't know what's available out there in our state, they might not pursue it. And so this has been a really great opportunity for me to work with kids, figure out what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? Who out there can I connect you with in our community that can show you? You know, for example, I had a student that thought she wanted to be a dog trainer. She was convinced last year that's what she wanted to do. And she went to 3 different classes and came back and said, oh my God, Mrs. Sanborn, I cannot do that. And I was like, why? She goes, I love dogs, but I cannot deal with owners. And she was, I'm like, I don't blame her. That's really what you deal with, right? Especially if you're bringing a dog to a dog training class. And she was like, nope, I gotta switch. So she switched and thought she wanted to be a vet tech, spent some time in a veterinary clinic and was like, no, that's still not it. Now she's working at a therapeutic riding center and wants to go to school. She's probably gonna be at UNH, I'm not sure yet, but studying to be a therapeutic riding instructor. So like really neat opportunities for kids to figure this out. I also had a student that said, I really want to work with kindergartners. I want to be a kindergarten teacher. So have you ever worked with 5-year-olds? No. And I was like, okay, you're going down with Mrs. McGarry. So, you know, she spent the year last year with Mrs. McGarry, loved it. Because it's one of those where I say to kids, hey, you know, you might do this and really not like it. And that's okay. Because so many adults, sometimes we don't even know what we want to do and we change jobs. So it's been really cool to see kids, you know, sort of figure out like, is what I thought I wanted really what I want? I've also been able to do some field trips with students, so not just for the students in the class, but we've taken students, we've taken them to Franklin Memorial Hospital. Of course, I've done the Healy Bars, Contour 360, hunting. We've gone to Partners for World Health in Portland and done some service learning where kids, it's all donated medical supplies that are shipped to third world countries, so that's been really neat. We went down to a vet clinic in New Hampshire. We're going to the Maine College of Art and Design this Friday and the Portland Museum of Art, so I've got some kids interested in art and museum curating. Taking kids next week to SMCC to see the health sciences. So like some really just cool opportunities for kids to see what's out there and just get sort of a bigger world view than here, just in our area. So I've talked enough. I would hope to bring other students, both basketball practices and basketball games get in the way right now, so I know Bella's a little nervous, but I want to very nervous. I know. Exactly. So Bella is a 10th grader now. She started in my program last year as a 9th grader. So I'd love for her to share a little bit about what she's done so far.
Okay, so I started last year, and when I went into ELO, I thought I was interested in healthcare and specifically like physical therapy stuff. And I did a couple of Zoom calls, and I went down to the health center and I interviewed like 15 of the people there. And we went to the Franklin Memorial Hospital, like she said, and I talked to a couple people there, and just like decided at the beginning of this year it wasn't really what I wanted to do anymore. Now I'm looking into art, pursuing art as a career, which I'm very excited to go to the Maine College of Art and Science Friday. That's going to be really cool.
You're bringing 30 students, which is really exciting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was impressed.
Yeah, so,
And not quite sure what part of art yet you want to focus on.
yeah, I've reached out to a couple different people through email and stuff, but I'm still not really sure what I want to do.
Yeah. So there's like teaching or, you know, graphic design. We're going to set her up with a graphic design artist to like spend time in an office. Is that what she wants to do? Because let's face it, sometimes just selling your art, we've talked about, is maybe not just the way to support yourself and how that would look. So, but again, it is possible. You actually just interviewed an artist last week and was able to get some input on, you know, how do you become an artist? How do you become I think she's an illustrator, so, yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite part of ELO, is like I can change my mind so much and still like not feel like I'm wasting anybody's time or anything like that. I've introduced a lot of my friends to ELO, which I think is partially why we've gotten so many new students this year, because we're just talking about it all the time.
Yeah, last year you were my only freshman, And it's hard, you know, you think, oh, as a freshman, you know, but it's such a great way to get kids really thinking about how do you connect what they're doing in classes to their life. And so, like, I had a student, even today, actually, a 10th grader in your class today, she was looking up YCC, York County Technical Community College, or, yeah, something like that, and in Wells, because she wants to go into vet tech, and she realized one of the requirements is chemistry, and she's not signed up for chemistry next year. And she was like, oh my God, maybe I should go to guidance right now. And I was like, you probably should actually go talk to our guidance counselor, because you don't take it as a junior, you should take it as a senior. So she ended up signing up for it. She's like, I dropped my study hall and I picked up chemistry. And, you know, she might not have looked at that requirement. Bella and I were looking at requirements for Mecca, the College of Art and Design, and one of them was like a portfolio. And so, like, working with our art teacher and figuring out, like, how does that look? How would we put together? And we realized you can't use any art from these last 2 years.
Any of the art that I've already done, so.
Because you have to do it within a year and a half of when you apply. So, like, just little things like that. You know, Mrs. Landry, our guidance counselor, is wonderful, but she's one person. And so for me to also be able to support her, and, you know, there's college is one avenue, but then there's so many other, like we have said, we have a kid in an apprenticeship. We have students who are thinking of going into, I have a kid actually job shadowing an electrician because he thinks he wants to go into that career. And there's a lot of work to do, you know, to get your licensure. So just really showing kids, like, and right now there's so much money available, free college and free training opportunities that kids don't know, I didn't even know about. So I've learned a lot about what our, you know, what we have here. Job Corps is another one I never really knew about. And I had someone come in Friday. We're going to actually, I just set up a field trip to go up in March to actually tour the campus, all free training, you know, free housing, some really great opportunities that, like, we've really never exposed kids to. So, yeah, and, you know, the hard part of this is, part of me is here because I want the towns to know about this great program and to know that I really want to reach out. If you know people in our community that want to work with students, I would love that. But I also feel like, you know, we're at the end of our grant, and so part of this is a little selfish. Even if I don't stay in this position, though I hope I do, I have students here in the district, I mean kids, my own kids, you know, I really want this program to continue. And of course that comes down to money. And so part of me is here saying, hey, if that comes up, if you see it on the budget, if it's a, you know, please support us, because I think it's money well spent. And our grant money, usually a grant would end, like when it ends, the money goes away. And the government actually just last month decided that we would be allowed to, any money we don't use between now and July 1st, we're allowed to roll over to next year. So, yeah, so Suzanne Day was like, this is really good, I can't promise you a job yet, but, you know, we're not going to have to hopefully, you know, be having to fully fund me or someone in my position, hopefully it's me. So, I taught English first. I probably didn't say that at the beginning, but I taught English for many years at the high school, and then was at the middle school. So I've been there 16 years. And this, I have to say, is probably my favorite thing I've done with students. I've known Bella since you were in 8th grade. So it's been really, I teach seniors, so now seeing them, I get to see them kind of grow up and, you know, help them sort of figure out, like, what do you want to do? And, you know, hopefully, like, someone like Bella can take this again. That would be really neat for her to be able to have opportunities as we go forward. So anyway, I could talk all night about this. I'm very passionate. I love this program. But if there's any questions or anybody in the audience has questions, I'm happy to answer them, or you can contact me. Yeah.
So the students that are in the program, they assume that they want to do something like be an electrician. Who was out to find the electrician for them to shadow? You do.
That's me. Or if they know someone, because my big thing is I'll say, you know, I always have like an intake interview with kids and say, so do you know anybody? Like, is your uncle in a, you know, because I love word of mouth, and I'd much rather, you know of someone or have someone recommend someone. But generally it's me. I actually, my dad builds houses. I called my dad this morning, or yesterday morning, excuse me, and said, hey, who are the electricians you worked with? Like, he doesn't live right here, but it's so much better to get recommendations. And plumbers, that was the other thing. I'm like, who could I call a plumber? I can Google it, but it's so much better to.
No, I think that's a great resource.
Yeah.
Have somebody to help them do that.
Exactly, and to connect local people with kids, because again, I want kids to stay, you know, and let's face it, even if kids leave, most of them are going to end up settling in this 30-mile radius around here, and they're going to be the people that have kids in our district in the future, and our taxpayers, and so it's like, why not give them every opportunity to be successful and to, Sockeye Valley Heating and Cooling, Jeremiah Shields, his wife is the art teacher, and he's been begging me for students, because he's like, I have so much work, I cannot keep up, send me kids. So actually, I have 2 kids going next week. I finally gained kids that are like, I want to do HVAC. I'm like, I've got a situation for you. So that's, exactly, that's me trying to, I don't want to send kids to Portland, but sometimes you got to, because,
Yeah.
we
That's
don't have a hospital right here, but, or things like that. But certainly some of these local opportunities, I think we need to, be more proud of and show kids that, this is a great place to live, and you can make a good living. So, yeah.
Wow, sounds like a great program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with it, and
Yeah.
I think the kids have enjoyed it too.
Gives them good exposure to,
So is that funded in the school budget?
Not right now. I'm fully funded by the grant.
Okay.
It was a $5.6 million grant that went
Are you
out.
gonna be applying for some kind of funding?
We've been looking. Sue Day is wonderful at finding
Yeah.
money, and so we're trying to find another, because let's face it, you've got to be self-sustaining somehow, and so any money I can bring in
Mhm.
through grants, I think is gonna be helpful. The hard part right now is a lot of the budget that I have, part of it is, of course, personnel costs, just paying for me to be, I'm a teacher, so I'm paid as a teacher. And then part of it is I have a travel budget, so I went, anytime for example, this Thursday I'm going up to Thomas College to present, we have a big ELO workshop. But I was also asked to present, because they're really proud of, the people in the state are really proud of our program, which is really exciting. So I get to present up there as well. So, I get my gas money, 40 cents a gallon or whatever. And then, last fall, I was able to go down to Tennessee to the National Rural Education Association, conference, and I got to present on rural communities and community outreach through ELOs, which was really cool. So, that was funded. But that's, I'll be honest with you, that's $20,000 budget line. That's not gonna stay. We are realistic that some parts of my budget that I have kind of free right now that I can say, I can spend my money however I want, because there's so much of it, right? And they were like, just spend it. Now, we're sort of being okay, what would be realistic to think we could keep? Taking kids to SMCC on a bus, totally probably gonna stay in the budget if we keep the program. Things like sending me to Tennessee, probably not. Let's be real. And things like that. But, part of the money also was, earmarked. Workforce development in our state really wants to pay students. And we found that really problematic, because that's not something that's sustainable. Schools paying kids, that's not how it works. We give them credit. We give them certificates, they can earn things like that. So that's part of our budget that Sue and I really decided that we were going to spend in other ways. For example, this year we purchased a $4,000 online program called Imagine Ingenuity that has CPE classes that kids can take at their own pace. Because some of these things, I can't put a kid in an operating room, but I can for example, Bella, you took a human systems course where she learned about different, it was a science course that she couldn't take at her school, but she was able to take online for free. So that, we thought that was a better use of our money than paying kids. Because kids are coming to me anyway, they're gonna do this anyway. Yeah. And that's not sustainable. I don't feel like any school budget's ever gonna support, paying kids to do school. But so that's the kind of stuff in my budget, there was a lot of money given to us in this grant. We're not gonna use it all up. So it will roll into next year. That's hopeful. But then after that, then what? And how do we keep this great program for students? And we're not the only district that's looking at this. And how are we going to make this happen? So, anyway, like I said, I could talk all night, but I do have handouts because I'm a teacher and that's how I operate. If you ever want to, contact me, or if you know of anybody that would love to work with students, please email me. And, you can certainly call the school and find me as well. So I also have this little thing that talks about the money, how it all came to be in there. Kind of cool.
You've been a soccer kid for 16 years?
What's that?
Have you been a soccer kid for 16 years?
Yeah, I started
I'm
in,
surprised we've never,
I started in 2009. Yeah, did you have kids that went through?
4 of them.
Who are they?
Mine is Logan.
Oh, yeah, all
Logan.
4 of your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your wife took pictures of my kids when I played sports.
Okay, yeah, I also do that, yeah.
That's how you know me.
Yeah, I thought you looked a little familiar, but
Yep, exactly,
I don't
so,
remember, did my kids have you as a teacher?
yeah, I had all four of them.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
crazy. Are they all
Time
grown up?
flies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they would've done great if we had this program, but.
Jackson's 26.
Oh my God, he's your
Yeah.
youngest too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel old. So like when students find out like, you know, like now they're getting older and I'm like, we have teachers in our district that were my students. And they're like, how old are you, Mrs. Sanborn? I'm like, I had them when they were 18, they were senior. So like I taught them in kindergarten. But yeah, that's great.
Good.
That's
No, I
amazing.
appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the
Yeah.
opportunity. And like I said, sorry we took up a lot of your time, but.
No, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And like I said, anything, if any questions or want to chat.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Good luck, Ellen.
What's that?
Nice to hear.
Yeah. Positive. Gives kids an opportunity to figure out what they want.
Yeah, they need that, it should
Yeah.
actually be a funded program through the.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's something I don't like,
Yeah.
tax money.
Right.
All right, next thing, Tony Bill Dickerson. You're up.
Okay, I'm up here for my client, Marty, Laughlin.
Hi.
This might, can I sit or do you want me to stand?
No, whatever you wanna do.
Okay, well, I'll sit right.
Yeah, make yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of, Marty. His house got foreclosed for taxes last week. We found out about that the day after it happened.
Oh.
The little chronology, if I can take 2 minutes, and I
Yeah.
promise I won't take more than that. The house was owned by Marty's parents, Donna and Marty Senior. Donna passed away in, August of '21. And, Marty's, nephew, Donna's grandson, had Donna sign a will 5 or 6 years ago, giving the property to him. He went down to the probate court and 5 days after her death and sought appointment as the personal representative of the estate, which he got. Marty had a later will that left the property to him. We could have straightened this out a lot longer, a lot sooner, but sadly, Marty's nephew was murdered down in Biddeford in September of 2021. And so it took a long time in probate. The bottom line was that there was, we had litigation over this, a will contest. We finally settled it in May of this year. I believe that all of the, and we settled it by naming me the personal representative of the property. I only distributed the property to Marty on the 6th of September, just the way it proceeded ahead. He never had notice of any of this. I think the tax bills were getting sent to Douglas Michaud, who claimed to be the owner of the property by inheritance, who was murdered. And I just think this whole thing just kind of fell through the cracks. Marty got the house. Marty's disabled. If he loses this house, he's homeless. It's you know, it's been in the family forever. He's got the money to pay the taxes and just asked that you overdo the foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 2 minutes, wasn't it?
That was way less than 2 minutes.
The short answer is, pay the taxes, and it's all taken care of.
Just pay the taxes and it's all taken care of.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Thank you very, very much. We don't wanna own it, we don't wanna kick anybody out, so we always give them a
I don't
chance.
think technically that the foreclosure is actually valid, because if you don't get the tax bill or the lien notice to the actual owner, through, you send it to the wrong address, when you actually send them one and it gets to the right person, they've got another 30 days to
Right.
come pay the bill, so I think you just come pay it, you're fine.
Who the actual owner of this property was up in the air for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, that's, now, does he pay that tonight? Does he come down tomorrow and pay it? I'm just asking about.
You can pay it today, tomorrow, probably within the week or so.
Okay, okay.
So, you know how foreclosures go, this, I think was, if it's foreclosed, this is probably like a 2021 tax.
I think it might be, yeah.
And so there's some other taxes that have accrued since then.
I'd like to pay them in full.
So if you just come down and pay them all in full, that would be great. Otherwise, you'll just keep a running bill.
Yeah, we don't want to.
It becomes very confusing, we find. for people.
Yeah.
She's open right now.
Across the hallway. Okay. Let's do it.
Excuse me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You just wanna make sure that we do have the proper address that Debbie has.
Okay.
Yeah.
To send the bill. And, she could probably give you a card for the assessor so that, that they know to assist with updating and waive all of the probate information so that the proper ownership is showing on record.
He now is officially the proper owner.
Right. So the assessors will need to see that in
Right.
order to update the
Right.
property tax information so that you get the bill.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Very, very much. Well, thank you for coming in and straightening it out for us. Yeah.
By the sounds of that last girl, I hope some of the money goes to that.
I know.
Vocational school before vocational.
I wanted to sign.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We got. Committee board meeting. Oh, we're closed for training tomorrow. Staff meeting at 2, planning board Thursday. Joey, anything? Nope, thank you. Kathy, working on it? No. Mary?
No, I don't. Thank you for asking.
Eric?
No, I don't have any, but it was great to hear from that
The schedule.
extended learning.
Yeah.
She's,
That's a
yeah.
great program.
That is, yeah.
Made me feel like I should say, don't go to art school. I did, and I could not get a job as an art teacher.
Oh.
I had to go back and get fifth grade, which worked out great.
Well, Mary
Yeah,
has gone
glad it
in the
worked out
medical
that way,
field.
yeah.
That's because I knew that, because I wanted to go in the art field, but I hated it. So I
Oh, I
feel
know.
exactly the opposite of you. I think you should follow your passion.
I love art, and I do nice work.
The money will come from somewhere.
Well, it didn't. I had to go back to school and get an elementary certificate because I couldn't get a job as an art teacher. Nobody would hire me. And you see my watercolors, they're good.
Yeah.
I'm really big good.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got any up there, besides the stickers for the, I sent an email out to Emily and Ben about setting up another meeting for the Sanborn Beach, so. I told him we was going through our budget, so. Beth?
Well, we're doing all right. The Block 550 is currently down in New England Diesel. It's got a, I don't know whether it's a grinding brake or a rear end differential or something in the back that's grinding, which I kind of knew about. About a year ago, when it was down there, Donnie said that it's got some backlash in it, and he goes, just keep an eye on it. So if he calls me and tells me that's what it is, I won't be surprised, and it was already coming, so I already knew it was going to be. Other than that, everything's going good. We got out today, did a bunch of coal patching.
I see that up my way.
Yeah, we did a bunch up your way, did over Douglas Hill, got some of the big ones filled in over there. I mean, I could use 30 more tons of that stuff, but so we've got a little bit left in the truck for tomorrow morning. We're gonna do that and keep plugging away at services on the trucks and getting all that winter good stuff done.
Yeah.
You know, that big pothole at Dennis, Fremont, when you're turning on the 113, I hit every morning, you fill that one in?
You mean the one on the corner? where you
Yeah, I
drive off
I
Alcoa?
got a trailer, so I would take it too tight, so.
Stay in the middle of the road. That's our famous saying down there.
Yes. It's hard to hit potholes in the ditch if you're in the middle of the road, right?
Exactly. You don't run off that top if you're not off that top. But, so yeah. We did a little bit on Smut Street and did some Graham, Wigan, Mountain Road, Douglas Hill.
Did you get that big hole by Patty Salmon?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that one keeps popping up on me.
Yeah.
Still did voice, I think. I mentioned it to Robin earlier. I did take a ride up to Dearborn Road today to check out potholes, which the whole top of that road is pretty much trashed, but, there is quite a few footprints going in and out of the camper. I just wanted to let you know. That's all I got.
Some inhabitants.
Yeah. I did see him walking down Douglas Hill, so.
Fun, never stops.
So Chris, I got all your budget stuff.
Well, I see you're still standing, so you didn't have a heart attack when you saw it, so that's good. I got some more work to do to it.
I'd like to show you what I did with it. The way you folks are adding across, makes it look really bad, but when you actually, when you put it on the timeline, it doesn't look quite so bad, and you can
No.
kind of even it out. a little
Yeah.
bit, you know.
Yeah, there's ways to space it out even better, so.
Yeah, so,
I just took a solid number, divided it by how many years, and went, but that's a number.
yeah.
But there's ways to make one number smaller and the next number down below higher. So, there's always ways to work it, but, yeah,
Okay, good.
that's all I got.
Anything? Robin, you?
Is tomorrow I think tomorrow's the staff meeting,
Right.
did you say that?
Yeah.
For the, personnel policy stuff?
Yes. Bob, you got anything? Alrighty then, executive session, I move the select board go into executive session pursuant to one, MRSA section 405, 6A to discuss personnel matter.
Second.
Yeah.
How's the budget stuff going?